Imagine this. You're finally planning that epic family trip to Disney World. You've saved up for months, maybe years, dreaming of those magical castle views and the iconic rides. But when you dive into the planning, things feel different. It's more expensive than ever. Perks you heard about are now gone, and the booking process feels like trying to crack some secret code. Meanwhile, Universal Studios, Disney's longtime rival, is quietly becoming the cooler, cheaper, and more enjoyable option. What's going on here? How did Disney, the king of theme parks, start losing its magic? Let's start with Disney's skyrocketing prices. For years, Disney has been increasing its ticket prices, and as much as fans love the parks, there's a breaking point. It's not just the cost of the tickets that keeps escalating. Other costs associated with lodging, meals, parking, and even some rides are being charged separately. These used to be part of the Disney Magic package, things you just expected to be included in the experience. But nowadays, to fully enjoy a visit to the Disney parks, you will have to pay much more than several years ago. The craziest part? With the increase in price, the amount of benefits provided is disappearing. Free rides on the Magical Express bus used to be provided to guests' hotels from the airport, but are no longer available. Parking at Disney resorts now comes with a fee, and the once coveted extra magic hours, where Disney hotel guests got to access the parks early or stay late, have been cut back significantly. It's like getting a high-end holiday package, and after paying for it, you realize that every single service comes at an extra cost. Because of this change in the company's strategy, many fans that were loyal to Disney are deciding whether or not it's worth sticking around. With the benefits reducing and the cost increasing, consumers have noticed that their money is worth more elsewhere. And this is where Universal Studios comes in. As Disney experiences a hiccup, Universal is steadily but surely improving. Universal parks are getting a lot of praises for better overall value and greater experience at lower price points. So what does that translate to for customers? Well, for starters, the hotels owned by the franchises are becoming more sought after. By the way, Universal has been working to broaden its resorts with new hotels that are cheaper and still provide a substantial degree of luxury with good practicality. There is a trend of guests opting for the hotels of Universal. The reason being they are better value for the consumers, better facilities, lower prices, and lesser hidden charges. On top of that, the use of Universal's Express Pass system is a game changer. Yes, it is quite expensive. However, it is effective. The pass essentially allows users to bypass the waiting queues on most of the rides, thus reducing the waiting time significantly. As opposed to that, Disney's new system, which we'll come to in a moment, seems to be more of a hassle. For most kids, Universal feels like they're having a more enjoyable and less anxious time, which is a relief after you've just spent a day running around a theme park with your children. And here's the kicker. Universal is currently in the process of constructing perhaps the most interesting and engaging attractions in the world. Have a look at their Jurassic World ride or soon-to-be-released Super Nintendo World. They know precisely how to incorporate popular figures into their parks in ways that seem both entertaining and new. All these add up to one simple conclusion. Universal is gaining ground fast, and Disney is starting to feel the heat. Oh, the Disney Genie system. This was meant to be the next big feature of Disney that would allow the guests to enjoy themselves at the parks. Instead, it has made quite a number of people confused and irritated. Here's the catch. Some people have replaced the Fast Pass with Disney's Genie. Fast Pass was pretty straightforward. Grab a pass, skip the line. Out of time. Now, with Disney Genie, the situation is more complicated. First off, Disney Genie has two parts. The free Disney Genie, which helps you plan your day, and the paid Disney Genie Plus, which lets you skip lines on selected attractions, but only after you've paid extra for it. There's also an added charge for access to some of the most popular rides. This system feels like it's more about Disney maximizing its profits than helping guests have a magical experience. Instead of having the flexibility of planning your day and enjoying the park at your own pace, now you're constantly glued to your phone, trying to figure out what's available, what you should book next, and how to avoid paying even more. There's also the fact that many guests are confused about how Disney Genie works. There's quite a puzzle with the system. What's included? How do you get the most out of it without blowing your budget? It's quite an overkill. Many guests long for the good old days of FastPass. This was much simpler and did not feel like the aim was to maximize how much money could be extracted from the guests. This brings us to one of the most noticeable disparities between Disney and Universal at the moment, which is the overall guest experience. In this area, Universal is killing it. Universal's parks are built around ensuring that guests are entertained, engaged, and satisfied with their experience. They do not miss out on investing in attractions that heavily feature storytelling, animatronics, and themed surroundings. Take their Harry Potter world, for instance, or even their water rides, where every ride is a ride of its own kind. You're not just watching a movie, you're living it. Disney, on the other hand, has been criticized for focusing too much on screens and projections in its newer attractions. Galaxy's Edge is a good example. While fans were excited about the idea of a Star Wars-themed land, many left feeling underwhelmed. The experience felt too focused on specific intellectual properties, IP, and not enough on creating immersive, memorable moments. It's not that Disney has not made efforts, but according to many, the bar has not been reached by the recently rolled out products and services as compared to the past. Disney's approach has started to feel more cynical, especially under Bob Chapek's leadership, who's been accused of making decisions that prioritize short-term profits over long-term guest satisfaction. And under Chapek, there has been an evident increase in the sale of goods and services within the parks, a surge in prices, and reduction of the provisions. Such developments have disturbed long-term fans of Disney, expecting the company to maintain certain principles that are critical for the reason of its uniqueness. In case you don't know the Universal theme parks competition, it is no longer about Universal trying to catch up to Disney. Universal is trying to always, somehow, stay one step ahead. Universal's aggressive expansion, especially with upcoming attractions like Super Nintendo World, is drawing a lot of attention. They're relishing famous brands, pumping in funds to incorporate new technologies, and building attractions that people want to view. Disney, on the other hand, gets flack for trying to stick to the more tested and proven approaches that no longer seem to have the same kind of fun as they used to. It's not as if the theme parks are the only thing on the table for discussion. The Universal hotel chain of resorts is acquiring more hotels to their chain as well, providing people with a variety of places to stay with different price tags. This flexibility makes Universal even more appealing to guests who are tired of Disney's premium pricing and lack of value. Disney's resorts, once known for their diverse themes and exceptional guest services, are now seen as overpriced and underwhelming. Recent hotel refurbishments have been met with mixed reviews, with some fans feeling like the magic has been replaced with cost-cutting measures. Universal's growth is changing the theme park competition. Ideally, there used to be a clear situation where Disney was always on top, but this is changing gradually and becoming a close race. Disney still holds brand power, but if they remain dormant and do not change anything their guests are unhappy about, they will watch more and more people leave for Universal's newer and less expensive parks. Looking ahead, it's clear that the competition between Disney and Universal is only going to heat up. What Disney fans are hoping for is a return to form, a leadership that understands the importance of customer satisfaction and the value of creating immersive, innovative experiences that go beyond simple brand recognition. There's even speculation that a change in leadership could bring about a revival of Disney's focus on guest experience. If Disney can find a way to strike a balance between profitability and guest satisfaction, they could win back the hearts of their loyal fans and hold off Universal's growing momentum. What do you think will happen next? Let us know in the comments section below, and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.